All right, be honest with me for a second. Have you ever sat there staring at your phone, trying to decode a haha yeah text from your crush? Like, was that friendly, flirty, or just a polite, please stop texting me? We've all been there, deep in the confusing, slightly soul-crushing zone, where you're not sure if they're into you, or if you're just their emotional support sidekick. And the worst part? They're probably super nice about it. They laugh at your jokes. They share memes with you. Maybe even touch your arm when they talk to you. Just enough to keep hope alive. But then they tell you about the person they actually have a crush on. They ask you for advice. Or they set you up with someone else, and you're left sitting there like, wait a minute. Am I the love interest in this story, or just the narrator? It's not always black and white either. Sometimes they do things that make you think there's a spark, a lingering look, an inside joke, a late-night conversation. But there's always that nagging doubt in the back of your head. Do they actually like me, or do they just like having me around? That's exactly what we're diving into today. The 6 real telltale signs your crush may not be romantically interested, but instead sees you strictly as a friend. And hey, it might sting a little, but it's way better than living in that confusing limbo of what if, because once you know the signs, you'll be able to stop wasting your energy on mixed signals and start showing up for yourself. So what do you do when your heart says maybe, but their actions say, nah, just a buddy? That's the question so many of us struggle with, and honestly, it's one of the most confusing parts of modern relationships. Crushes are tricky. They can be playful and kind, without ever actually crossing that invisible line into romance. And when someone treats you like you matter, like you're special, but still doesn't take things anywhere deeper, it can mess with your head in all the worst ways. You start second-guessing everything. Was that text flirty or just friendly? Did they brush my arm on purpose, or was that nothing? Do they actually want to hang out, or do they just see me as someone convenient? In this video, we're breaking down the 6 real signs your crush may only see you as a friend, not something more. But listen, this isn't about calling anyone out or shaming yourself for having feelings. It's about giving you clarity, so you stop waiting around for something that might never happen and start focusing on people who really see you. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you liked the video, so you can help me continue spreading knowledge. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so and activate the bell, so you don't miss any future videos on relationships and self-growth. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the first sign your crush might like you, just as a friend. Sign number 1. They're super comfortable around you, but never flirty. You know how some people are just too chill around you, like they're cracking jokes, sitting way too close on the couch, throwing popcorn at your face during a movie night. And you're thinking, okay, this must mean something, but here's the thing. There's a certain kind of closeness that feels more like siblings than soulmates. And when your crush is super relaxed around you, but the vibe never turns even slightly romantic, that might be your first big clue. Think about it. When someone's romantically interested in you, there's usually a tiny bit of tension, not the bad kind, but that little nervous energy. The butterflies in your stomach, feeling you get when someone makes your heart race a little, but when they're just comfortable, like really comfortable around you. They don't hesitate to burp mid-sentence. They'll tell you embarrassing stories without even blinking. They show up in sweatpants with greasy hair and a half-eaten sandwich, and the entire time, there's no flirting, no compliments, no subtle glances at your lips or excuses to touch your hand. It's all just goofy friendship energy. Now, don't get me wrong, comfort is important in any relationship. But when it's all comfort and zero romantic tension, It usually means they feel safe with you in a platonic way. You're the homie, the bro, the one they can be their weirdest, most unfiltered self around, because they're not trying to impress you. And they're definitely not trying to win you over. And hey, that says a lot about how much they trust you, but it also might mean they've already mentally placed you in the friend zone drawer and locked it shut. So if you've been hoping for a slow burn love story, but they're treating you like their roommate from college, that's sign number 1. Have you ever experienced this exact situation? Tell me in the comments what happened next. Let's move on to the second sign. And this one's a little more obvious, but no less painful. Sign number 2. They talk about their crushes with you. Okay, this one stings. There's a special kind of emotional slap when your crush, the person who's been living rent-free in your brain for weeks or months, starts talking to you about someone else they like, and not just anyone. Like full-blown confession mode, details, emotions, butterflies. What should I text them? Vibes. Yeah, that hurts. Because for a second, your heart does this thing where it's like, wait, maybe they're just trying to make me jealous. Or maybe they're trying to test the waters. You know, see how I react kind of thing. But in most cases, they're just being open because they trust you as a friend. And here's where it gets extra confusing. They want your opinion. They ask things like, should I ask them out this weekend? Do you think they're into me? Was that message too much? Meanwhile, you're sitting there smiling through the pain like, oh yeah, go for it. Sounds like they really like you. But inside your brain, it's just screaming, why are you telling me this? Here's the truth. When someone's into you romantically, they usually don't want to bring up other people they're crushing on. They're too busy hoping you might like them back. But when they're open and chatty about their dating life, especially if they come to you first when they catch feelings for someone else, it usually means one thing. They see you as a confidant, a buddy, someone safe to unload their romantic drama on without worrying it'll mess up your dynamic. They might not even realize you like them, or worse, they do know, and they still think it's okay to bring up their crush because they don't see you as someone they'd ever date. And that's a rough realization, because it means your feelings aren't just unreciprocated, they're invisible to them. But hey, being the trusted friend isn't a bad thing. It just might not be what you want it to be. So, have you ever caught your crush talking about someone else while you secretly like them? Let me know in the comments. How did you handle that? Now let's move into sign number 3. And this one's all about avoidance. Sign number 3. They avoid situations that could feel romantic. All right, let's paint the picture. You suggest grabbing dinner, just the two of you. And their reply, maybe we should invite the whole group. Or you're watching a movie together. The lighting's low, the mood's cozy, and just when you think maybe this is a moment, they sit on the opposite end of the couch and start scrolling through memes. If you've ever had that experience where it feels like your crush is actively dodging anything that might feel remotely romantic, that's a pretty clear sign they see you as a friend. When someone likes you in that way, they usually lean into those moments. They might linger longer during a hug or say yes to that one-on-one dinner. Even something as simple as walking a little slower when it's just the two of you, because they want more time together. But when your crush consistently avoids intimacy, when they reroute hangouts so other people are always involved, when they downplay any moment that might even hint at romance, that's no accident. It's emotional distancing. Not because they dislike you, but because they genuinely don't see you that way. You might find yourself initiating closeness, suggesting plans, trying to create opportunities where something could bloom. But if they keep sidestepping it or suddenly act uncomfortable when things start to feel a bit too personal, That's your cue. It's like they're subconsciously putting up guardrails just to make sure things stay safe, friendly, platonic. Now, this doesn't make them a bad person. They might not even realize they're doing it. But it does mean they're not on the same emotional wavelength as you, and honestly, that mismatch is exhausting because you'll keep trying to turn the friendship into something deeper, while they keep trying to keep things exactly as they are, and that's not fair to your heart. So ask yourself, are they avoiding romance or just not feeling it? Does this remind you of someone? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. What's the most awkward, almost moment you've had? All right, it's time for sign number 4, and this one, it's all about that buddy energy you can't unsee. Sign number 4, they treat you like a sibling or best bud. Okay, let's be real for a second. There's friendly, and then there's what's up, bro energy. And if your crush calls you dude, man, or brace yourself like a sibling, that's a pretty strong sign they're not exactly writing love songs about you. You might be thinking, well, maybe that's just how they talk. And sure, that can be true. But it's the way they treat you that makes all the difference. Let's say you're texting them something sweet, trying to feel the vibe, and they reply with a SpongeBob meme and call you my guy. Or you show up looking extra nice one day, and they hit you with, you look clean, bro. Like, thanks, but also, ouch. People who feel romantic tension usually get a little more intentional. They pay compliments that feel personal. They flirt, sometimes awkwardly, sometimes smoothly, but it's there. But when your crush gives you high fives instead of lingering hugs, wrestles your hat off your head, or burps mid-sentence and laughs about it, you're not the potential partner. You're the sidekick. It's like being cast in the best friend in the rom-com role, the one who helps them fall in love with someone else. And here's the twist. You probably have amazing chemistry with them. You laugh together. You have your inside jokes. You can talk for hours about literally nothing, but none of it ever feels like it's headed toward a date, or even an emotional confession, because to them, you're safe, you're familiar, you're their go-to support person, just not their crush. It's not because you're not good enough. Let's be super clear about that. Sometimes people build strong connections, but only see those bonds as platonic. And no matter how much you wish it was different, you can't force someone to feel what they don't feel. So if your crush treats you more like a younger sibling, or gives off that I'll help you move houses kind of loyalty, that might be love, but not the romantic kind. Has your crush ever treated you more like a sibling than anything romantic? Tell me below. I want to hear your friend-zoned stories. All right, now we're heading into sign number 5, and this one's about something we often misunderstand: touch. Sign number 5. Physical touch is casual, not romantic. Let's talk about physical touch, because this one gets really confusing. Touch is one of those things that can blur lines fast. A hug can mean, I missed you. Or it can mean, you're basically my human teddy bear. But when your crush only ever touches you in super casual ways, it might be a sign they're not seeing you romantically. Think about the way they interact with you. Do they slap your shoulder when you make a joke? Give you high fives like your teammates? Or rest their feet on your lap during movie night like it's just another Tuesday? That's not flirting. That's friend behavior. There's a difference between meaningful physical touch and mindless habitual touch. When someone likes you, romantically, touch tends to feel a little more intentional. They might find excuses to brush your hand. They might hug you a little longer than usual. There's often that little awkward hesitation, that nervous energy that makes simple gestures feel loaded. But when it's purely platonic, it's quick, effortless, and totally comfortable because there's no tension behind it. Like If they cuddle with you but talk about someone else the whole time, that's not romance, that's just comfort. And here's the tricky part. Some people are naturally very touchy. They're physical with everyone. They'll lay across their friends, braid someone's hair, and be in everyone's personal space, because that's just how they are. But if they only do that with you, and it never escalates, never feels emotionally charged, never turns into anything more, then you're probably in the cozy friend comfort zone. It might feel affectionate, but it's not intimate in the way you're hoping for, and I get it. It's hard to accept that someone can be physically close, but emotionally distant in the way that matters to you. You start to question everything. Do they know I like them? Are they leading me on? Or worse, am I just imagining the chemistry? But most of the time, the answer is simpler than you think. If the touch never changes, never deepens, never hints at something more, then to them, it's just part of being around someone they trust. What's the most confusing, friendly touch you've experienced? Was it a hug? A playful push? Let me know in the comments. Now let's move into the last one. Sign number 6. And trust me, it's the one that really seals the deal. Sign number 6. They push you to date others or tease you about other people. All right, this is the one that really punches you in the gut. There you are, laughing with your crush, texting almost every day, feeling like there's something building. And then suddenly they say it. You and Jamie would be so cute together. Or worse, I should totally set you up with my friend. And you're just sitting there like, hello, I'm literally in love with you. This is a classic sign that they see you strictly as a friend. When someone tries to matchmake you with someone else, or constantly jokes about your crush on another person, it's usually because they genuinely don't see themselves as part of your romantic future. They're comfortable enough with you to joke, but they're also completely oblivious or ignoring the fact that you might feel differently. They're not jealous when you mention someone else. They don't get awkward when others flirt with you. In fact, sometimes they'll encourage it. They'll say things like, go for it, or you two totally had chemistry, or the devastating classic, you deserve someone amazing. And yeah, you do deserve someone amazing. But let's be honest, when your heart is locked onto them, those words can feel like a slap. Now, not everyone who makes a joke like that is trying to crush your dreams. Some people are just unaware of the signals they're sending, or they assume you only see them as a friend too. But if it's happening repeatedly, if they constantly steer conversations toward your dating life, and never once hint at being interested themselves, it usually means they're not trying to hide their feelings, because they don't have those feelings to begin with. It's like emotional deflection. They're nudging you towards someone, LD, so things don't get awkward between you two. And sometimes they might suspect that you like them, but they bring up other people on purpose to let you down gently, without ever having to say it out loud. Subtle, yes. Confusing, always. Painful, absolutely, but clear. Once you see the pattern, it's as clear as day. Have you ever been shipped by your crush with someone else? Drop your story below. I'm reading every comment. And now, we're at the end. Let's wrap this up with one final message. Because whether or not they liked you back, you still matter. So, maybe this video confirms something you didn't really want to hear, and I get it. It sucks when someone you care about, someone you've imagined more with, only sees you as a friend. It can feel like rejection, like you weren't good enough, like you missed some invisible chance to make it happen. But hear me out. Being in the friend zone doesn't mean you're unlovable. It doesn't mean you failed. It just means that person wasn't meant to be your person. You brought them comfort. You made them laugh. You became someone they could trust. That matters, and maybe, just maybe, the love you're actually meant for is still out there, waiting for someone who sees you clearly. Not as a friend, not as a placeholder, but as the whole damn prize, because you are the prize. You're the main character in your own story, not some emotional backup plan in someone else's. And hey, knowing where you stand, that's powerful. It gives you clarity. It frees you up to focus on the people who see your worth without hesitation. So take what you've learned today and use it to protect your heart a little better next time. Not to build walls, but to build standards. If you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future insights on relationships and self-understanding. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been in a just friends situation? What helped you move forward? Your story could help someone else feel less alone. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here more than you know. Until next time, take care of yourself. And don't forget how worthy you are of real love.